let's call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Kinslinger,
Here.
Oshkloo, Larson,
Here.
Penny, Sunny, Dursa,
Here.
Colombi, and Allen is there. You have a quorum.
All right. Are there any declarations of conflict of interest on the proposed agenda that is before us that's been presented to us? Okay. Anything else? Hearing no others, let's go on to the agenda. Any additions or corrections?
One note on item number 14, the address should say West Douglas instead of 113. So I think all the other things, but when I probably typed it in there. So just footnote it.
All right.
Move to approve the agenda.
Moved and seconded that to approve the agenda as discussed. And discussion on the motion. Hearing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Vote same sign, motion carries. Minutes of the meeting of February 8th were provided in the package of documents. Any additions or corrections? Moved and seconded that the minutes of the February 8th meeting be approved as presented. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Blanket for the next meeting is proposed to be March 8th. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Moved and seconded that the blanket for the next meeting, March 8th, be approved. Discussion. Hearing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is a plot of the Bacchus. Is that how do you say that, Neil? Addition in the southwest quarter of section 24, township 103 north, range 60 west of the 5th PM, Davidson County, South Dakota. Talk to us a little bit, Neil.
Okay, if page 6, you would see the copy of the drawing or the rendering of the plat that's been presented to you. And then also on an aerial on page 9, you would see where this is. Basically, it's on the far end or the east end of the Wild Oak Golf Course project there. You can see where Dean Drive. And so there's a pond there with there you can kind of see on your right-hand side there, and it's kind of identified where tract 1 is. It's basically kind of, as you can kind of see, the drawing is kind of around the pond as you would on page 6. So from what I understand, the party wishes to construct a house, a residence there, and I'm not sure if he's here. Yep, Greg's here, and as well as Doug is here. If you have any particular questions, this is just outside the city limits, but it's within our extraterritorial. So, because the houses that are on the Wild Oak are in the city limits, this will not be.
Okay.
Just so you can get your bearings straight. You might understand he would access it off of where the Dean Drive is, not off of the
highway. Anyone want to speak to us on that issue? Any comments? Has Neil got it covered pretty well for what you're hoping to do out there?
Just gonna build a house there.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve the plot as presented? Moved and seconded that the plat be approved as presented. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Next item, item number 8. Okay. Next item, plat number 8, a plat of block 8, lot 8 of block 7 of Woods First Edition, a subdivision of the east half of the southeast quarter of this section 23T103 R6D, 5th PM, Mitchell, South Dakota. Looks to me like this is a lot that has been waiting to be approved for a while, because I think there's houses on both sides of it. Is that not correct? Looks like it follows the general plan as we have approved from way back when. Moved and seconded that the plat be approved as presented. Discussion on the motion.
I should mention, this plat and the previous plat are both waiting on the elevation records, which both parties know that that is required prior to the council meeting.
No, I don't think so. As long as everybody knows what's going on. Further discussion? Hearing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign, motion carries. Plan approval, Ruby Tuesday, 1900 Highland Way, highway-oriented business district. Looks like they're going to do some remodeling. Neil, talk to us a little bit.
Well, my understanding, this is primarily interior remodeling. It doesn't appear to be anything from the exterior. I believe John has reviewed it as well, so just this is in the highway business district, so that's why it's before you. So I don't know if anybody from Ruby Tuesdays is here. So,
Anyone here to comment on what's proposed out there? I think we all figured it out by looking at what was presented in the packet sent to us, that this was going to be some minor remodeling inside the building.
I had a hard time figuring out exactly what they're doing. I don't see any drawing changes. So
I think it's probably just updating equipment, is what it kind of
the
looked like to
equipment
me.
and finishes, yeah.
Yeah.
So
And that's fine.
it's fine with me.
Do I hear a motion? Moved and seconded that the plan be approved. Discussion.
that was Jacob.
Yep.
Can always tell with the math sometimes.
Hearing no discussion, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. All right, number 10, variance, Russell and Teresa Quist across from 5 West Harmon have applied for a non-conforming lot size variance, 7,149 square feet versus 7,500 square feet to construct an accessory building not located adjacent to a principal building located across the street from 5 West Harmon Drive, legally described as the west half of Lot 1, Niels Jensen, second edition, Niels Jensen subdivision, Lake Development Plan, City of Mitchell, Davidson County, South Dakota. The property is zoned RL, residential lake.
Okay, what you have here is you actually have two items. One is the variance and one is the conditional use. They kind of go hand in hand, and I'll talk both because they kind of overlap a little bit, but they're two separate items. One is on the lot size. So when this was actually, even though it does say lot 1A and 1B on their drawing on page 19, it's actually not described that way. It's described by footage, actually by so many feet, or I believe it might be described as halves. So with that being said, it is still under the 7,500 required. So what happens is what triggers it is once there's a building permits on it, well, now that you're constructing on a non-conforming lot. So that's one or two issues. And then as you may recall that accessory buildings on the RL district, if they're not part of the principal, it does require a conditional use just because this is across the street. So there's two separate actions here. If they weren't subdividing the lot, then they wouldn't need the variance on the lot size. They would just need the conditional use permit. So we did not receive any objections to this. Actually, I don't believe we received any letters back unless somebody's here who wishes to comment on it.
Anybody here to talk to us?
Okay.
Come on up.
I'm Russ. Oh, okay. Yeah, Russ.
Yeah, I've talked to the neighbors, and I heard back 4 out of 5 of them. You know, they were all okay with it.
Okay.
Because Don keeps his garden, that's all he wants.
Mhm. Okay.
Any other questions to come before us on this issue?
I got one more, just, it's minute. Russ and Neil and I looked at Plano the other night, and the legal lot recorded at the courthouse, I believe, is 48.2 feet wide, and he's got it down as 50.
So,
Is that a discrepancy, or is it?
no, it's just described as the west half. Don't go by that lot 1 and AB.
So
Go by that.
the 48.2 is not,
No.
may not be correct, so 50 feet, but either way, he's got enough room. No
Correct.
matter if he's even
Correct.
48 feet,
Yeah, don't go by that dimension.
because he's got plenty of room either way on the side, but it's just a discrepancy. I don't want it to come back up and cause a problem later.
Okay, thank you, John. Any other comments or questions?
No, he does not own the one. He does not own the smaller one. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Any other questions or comments?
The drawing that you see by that is accurate, because that's how the county picked it up. The west half and the east half.
So what's the actual width of the property?
It is, well, I had to look again. He's 72 feet. He's at 72 feet. He's more than the 60 that's required. Remember that. So he's at 70, almost 7150 wide, and he is 131 feet deep. So he'd be about
So he's wider than this drawing.
correct. Yeah,
So
don't take the A and B.
So the 10-foot side yards is not accurate. It's more
Correct.
than that.
Right. Actually, he would have only had to be 3.
It's one of these other irregular, non-conforming lots that we deal with
Right.
once in a while, thank heaven.
I'll move to approve.
Okay.
I hear a motion to approve. Do I hear a second? I hear all kinds of seconds.
Okay.
All in favor of the motion? All right, first of all, is there further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. All right, next item on the agenda. Boy, there's a lot of static electricity around here today. These plats just don't want to come apart. Okay. Conditional use. All right,
Now it's the same. It's related, but this is the conditional use.
yep, this is the conditional use now on the variance that we just granted. The variance, yeah.
Second.
Moved and seconded that the conditional use be approved as well. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion is carried.
Again, council will hear this Monday night. For
Yep.
everybody listening.
They'll look at it as two separate issues, but it's all tied together anyway, so. All right. Item number 12, variance, Grunaway Construction, 3209 Canal Circle, has applied for a backyard variance of 32 feet versus 35 and a front yard of 25 versus 35 as required for the property at 3209 Canal Circle, legally described as Lot 55, the Island First Edition, City of Mitchell, Davidson County, South Dakota. For the purpose of constructing a single-family house. The property is zoned UD urban development district. Good old urban development district is rearing its ugly head again, guys.
Yep, well, okay, this is a little, I'll try not to overlap it too much into the next item, which is the rezoning, but, because before, the next item is actually rezoning a significant portion of the island, development. However, because of, my understanding is because of the time involved here, a variance doesn't take as quite as long a time as a rezoning does, because rezonings require two additional or an additional council reading, so it's approximately another 2 or 3 weeks added on. What's before you is on page 27 is the drawing that the builder has submitted, and on here he's showing a 25-foot front yard setback and a 32-ish foot setback on the back on the triangle side there. And that's supposed to be, in an urban development, it's 35-35. So that's why it's before you, and I think you saw an aerial on there showing where this lot is located in the development. This lot was just recently replatted a couple months ago or so. You can kind of see the triangle piece there where the yellow X is where it's located. So I believe the landowner is probably here, or perhaps the other people who are involved in it. So that's the background on this one, and you can see the drawings of there. One other thing is I understand there are covenants in this development. So with that, I will give the floor to people who are in the know.
Who's going to talk to us from the floor, please?
I'm Brian Elis, and I actually represent the buyer of the house that's going to be built on it. So I saw in a letter that talked about it as a spec home. It's actually not a spec home, technically. It's under contract to be built for my buyers.
Okay.
I guess like Chuck Senior had his, the developer had his second COVID shot yesterday, so he's in bed anticipating some trouble there. So I'll speak on his behalf as the developer. We can finish more than the rezoning topic. If you notice, this is a 170-foot frontage lot, one of our largest frontage lots in the city. In rezoning, we're just trying to get rid of at least 2 or 3 situations out there like this. And we've noticed a lot of I don't know if it's a trend, if you will, but there's a lot of buyers and builders that would wish to build bigger homes. And I don't want to say we made a mistake in zoning it 20 years ago or whatever as urban development, but as you look around our better neighborhoods, I think most, if not all of them, some of you members that have been around long enough remember us rezoning or changing R1 recently, Jay and Doug and others perhaps. So I think we're just trying to do what all the better neighborhoods have done. I think 20 years ago we didn't know we'd have sewer and water. We didn't know we'd be in the city. I don't think we knew we were going to have curb and gutter, and we do, just like all the R1 neighborhoods. So I guess our request is just to build bigger, better homes rather than the other. I'll leave it at that. I don't know if you have questions, and we can answer some of that in the next topic, maybe.
Another case of a odd-shaped lot.
Well, it is an oval, and
Yeah.
that's the way SPN recommended that development. So we were just, again, 20 years ago following professionals' recommendations.
What do you think, guys?
Is 32 feet going to be enough? Because that's drawn not perpendicular to the property line. So what's the true setback here? Do we need to amend it smaller? See that 32.7 dimension? It's not perpendicular to the property line. I don't think that's a true setback number.
No.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm wondering. So if we approve 32, you won't meet that, so we need to go smaller probably.
What do you think?
Mhm.
It's a $420,000 project, so it's certainly not a spec home in Mitchell's market.
We have some comments on it, and, notes that came in, several approvals, a couple of disapprovals. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got any digging done out there?
I'm sorry, what?
Have you started digging?
No, I don't believe he has. I was bothered by the statement that we're breaking the law. We're just doing what a lot of good people do, and that's apply for a variance. If we don't get the variance, then we build a smaller home, I guess. And that would certainly be up to the input of the builder and the buyer, but
Well, and, you know, orientation on the lot might make a difference too. But depends on how you want your house to sit, I guess.
well, I think, yeah, there were some other contributions, possibly from the buyer and the builder, the direction of the driveway facing north. I don't know. It's complicated for every homeowner. But that was their wishes, so.
Yeah.
There's also a tree belt out there that we put in 15, 18 years ago. In between those. You can't see it on that image, but
Yeah,
There's
there's
yeah,
a line of trees right in the.
yeah, those are pretty young and they're much bigger now, but that was put there to just provide a little partition, privacy, if you will.
Joe, do you have a way to scale that at all?
We were just talking about that, you can do the math and work backwards, but 20 would probably give us the,
Yeah.
request for their own way.
No, I thought he was gonna be here. I guess you have to be on.
What's your pleasure, folks? Yeah.
Yeah.
And whatever the backyard happens to be, that's the way it's gonna be. Well, there's more empty lots out there that are going to be, they're going to become an issue because
Yeah,
of
they'll
the
be-
size and shape.
There'll be at least another 3 out there. I mean, it's an oval shaped
Yeah.
portion of the development. So it's gonna come up, and we've already got one on the entrance of the island that's wanting to build a 2,300 square foot ranch. And they're running into some trouble too, so I'll touch on that when we talk about rezoning, but, I think we've got a lot of reasons to rezone to allow for
Yeah.
higher value homes.
Yeah, and something should have been done with that urban development back years ago.
Definitely.
All right, what do you want to do here, folks?
Well, taking my scale at this stage, you're only about 4 feet, difference, so, instead of the 32 feet, I'm gonna use about 20.
Maybe you want to hold off a second and deal with the other one too, because since they're somewhat related. It's just a suggestion, just a suggestion, and then you can always come back to it in a second. Just a suggestion.
Yeah,
It's just that a matter about the other house. They want to move them, 25 feet across, but it's basically you're not on a corner,
Right.
driving around the.
Well, R1 has a 25-foot rear yard setback as well, so if we set it. Yeah. Yeah, mine's on.
mine's on.
Oh, there we go.
Somebody stepped
Is that better?
Is there one over here that you can plug into? Here, take mine.
There you go.
Ooh, thank God the lid was on. Did you hear that?
All
The
right.
lid was on, so.
Much better.
Okay, the discussion is, maybe we should sit on this for a couple of minutes until we go down and talk about the rezoning that they want to do,
Well,
which will have a difference.
if we rezone to R1, the rear yard setback is still 25 foot. So if we just set it at
Oh,
25 foot, then it
yeah.
doesn't matter.
There's no reason for the variance.
Correct.
But I think what they want to do is, because it's getting toward construction season, they're looking for this variance to come in the way I understand it, or what my thinking is, so they
In
can get
case the
started now,
In case the zoning doesn't happen.
in case the zoning doesn't happen,
Yeah.
and if it does happen, they'll be all right, but we're down the road another month
Yeah.
or
Well,
more.
I'm recommending we go to 25 foot so that if we do rezone it, we're still in compliance and no variance needed.
I agree. I think that's what we should do.
But then let's go back and talk about the variance, because of what they want to do, how they want to get started at it. We're probably going to have to grant that, but if we,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, but if we
Yeah.
go recommend this as a rezoning, which I don't see any reason not to, we're good to go, aren't we?
Yeah.
So, bottom line is, what do you want to do with this variance?
You gotta treat it separately. This is the variance that has nothing to do with your rezoning. He's rezoning it to get less area or less distance for his backyard.
Yeah.
Obviously by 10 feet.
Yep.
So address the lot, and what you wanna do with this one, and then address your variance when it comes forward. The whole purpose I can see for his variance is he wants to reduce what he's required to do by 10 feet in the backyard, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's right, but I think the reason that he needs the variance now, rather than wait for the rezoning, is so that they can start digging soon as it's nice.
Well, if he wants to rezone, he has more takes more time, he has to
Yeah.
come to more council meetings.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It only makes sense if they wanna get started.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a family trying to get into a home, and,
Yeah.
But you're rezoning like 6 lots or something like that is what you're doing, or 7 lots.
no, there's more.
Oh, there's
It's the
more.
unsold development, plus, a couple that are pending, and,
And see, that's part of the.
Yep.
So if we don't accept that, then it's not rezoned, but the variance would go through.
and that's what the family wishes, that'll be
Okay.
moving in there.
My motion would be to recommend approval of the variance with a 25-foot rear yard setback rather than the 32 as noted in the document.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second that.
Is there further discussion on that motion? Larry? Hearing no further discussion, I assume you're ready to vote. Let's go roll call, Neil.
Yes. Sonny,
Yes.
Malumbi.
Yes.
Larson,
Yes.
Enslinger,
Yes.
Osterloo,
Yes.
Penny.
Yes.
Okay, 7-0.
Motion carries. Now let's go on and talk about the rezoning on certain lots platted and unplatted within the land within the island addition from urban development to R1 single-family residential district. An ordinance of the city of Mitchell that changes the zoning district classifications for real and legal property described as lots 11, 12, 23, 45, 46, 47, and 55. The island first edition in the southeast quarter of section 31, T104 north, range 60 west, city of Mitchell, Davidson County, South Dakota, and a portion of the original Maui Farm second edition lying in the southeast quarter of 31-104-60, including tract A in the northeast quarter of section 6-103-60, except those lots platted within the island first edition, city of Mitchell, South Dakota, from urban development to residential R1 single-family residential, and the official zoning map be changed to reflect the same.
Okay.
So basically, what you're looking for to do there, Chuck Jr., is go everything to R1 that's not already built, right?
Correct.
Right,
Pretty much?
right.
Yeah.
So it's not spot zoning. We're getting rid of the albatross urban development out there. Is there any reason why we shouldn't approve this?
Probably the best illustration is on page, well, you have it up there on page 54. What's circled is this is the master plan of all the lots, and that's why you see what's platted and what's not. Now, there's like, I believe 4 lots, 4, perhaps 5 lots that were platted. However, like you said, like the chairman just mentioned, there are no houses on it. So basically, that's why you see about 3 or 4 names in there. Those are ones that are either were privately owned or they were not yet platted. So that's why you see the master legal that's there, as well as those handful of lots that are platted, but they, like you said, do not have a house on them. So, and lot 55, the one you just talked about, is part of the rezoning as well. So, but again, that's what the circles ones indicate there. So. And just a quick highlight on R1 is the setbacks would change to 25, 25, 3 on the side, 20 on the corner, and it's strictly single family too. So whereas the uses are very, very restrictive. So that's the background here. So,
John, you got something to talk to us about?
Yeah, I'll add a little something. Just for thought. If you're gonna change it, why not change it all to R1? All of it, even existing. Because then eventually, these people are gonna come back and say, well, I wanna build as close as he is. Well, they changed it, you can't. Inevitably, you're gonna come back and get variances. Even if you change it to R1 on new construction, somebody's still gonna come back for variance because they're gonna go out a little closer than what we just moved it to. But, and I understand Chuck was a developer years ago, and they thought this would be as good as it gets, and people want bigger, they want better.
Yeah.
But doing a mixed zoning in an area like that, you got a Heinz 57 mixed zoning, it makes it, you got another facet to look at when you write the building permit. We got that in a couple areas now, and I got stung the other day on it because he thinks it's one way and it's right next door, and they changed it right down the middle. It's not. But yeah. I think if you change it all R1, what's it going to hurt?
Well, and I guess the thing is, have you guys talked to the existing homeowners out there about going this way?
I'm just putting this in there for thought. It's from my perspective. You guys can do what you want. You're the board, but if you change it all to one zoning, I know in my head, and everybody out there knows it's going to be R1, and you don't got to go think, well, let me look. Where does that line again? Yeah. Which lots are involved? Which ones aren't? You got a jigsaw puzzle to go look at every time you write a permit or answer a question. That's all. Just food for thought.
I had the same thought. I mean, there's a handful here that aren't circled, and so those are going to be left UD. So we say it's not spot zoning, but it sure looks like it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do that either. I'd want it all or nothing.
And there currently aren't any properties that would fit that UD, but not the R1. So we're not hurting anything by switching everything to R1.
That would be my guess too. What do you think?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Yeah, that's up to you guys, what you do with existing homes, but, yeah, our wish is to have R1, just like all the great neighborhoods in town, to allow for bigger, better, higher value, taxable value homes. I don't know who wouldn't be for that.
Is there anybody in the audience that owns a home out there that, in that urban development district right now?
You know, a little bit what Chuck said before. And maybe it should have been zoned R1 from the get-go, but he didn't foresee curb and gutter. They did it as urban development. They thought it was gonna be acreages, but it got engulfed in the city limits and it progressed better than maybe what they originally had thought, yeah.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to change this whole thing at this point because it's been advertised as just these lots.
Okay?
Correct. Yeah. We would have to
And,
table it.
and,
and-
well, and the owners are the ones that have to, you know,
would have
petition,
to
though,
come in
the
and
owners
talk.
all had signed an application, and that's why we did it, so, and we did not pursue the ones that were already there. So, that was, just for time's sake, because if not, you would have had, what if you know, not all the owners may have, we just did the ones that were,
He's got his variance,
Yeah,
he can
so-
start.
Yep.
Let's bring it back and do it the right way. It does.
Yep.
Yep.
And the spots are what's already there.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Or like the mayor said, treat them all separate, because inevitably, if you change part of this to R1 and leave the other UD, one of those R1 people are gonna come in a year or 2 or 3 years down the road, and then they're gonna want a variance from the R1. It'll happen.
Yeah.
They want a shed, they want oversized, they want something that's, because R1 is only single family, right? There's no multifamily dwelling out there, no duplexes, right?
Right.
Or does R1 include 1 and 2 family?
no, this one.
So keep that in mind as well.
Yeah. What's your pleasure, guys? Tough choices. Looks like there's 7 properties up there on, would be the north side, and several on the south, too. Do we want to recommend rezoning to the council or not of what's laying out there? Okay, is that a motion to not recommend? Do I hear a second? I understand why they were looking to do this, but I think there's issues out there. Let's put it in the council's lap. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded that we recommend the council do not do the rezoning. Is there discussion on that motion? Hearing none, I assume you're ready to vote. Neil, let's go roll call.
Yes.
Yes.
Kenzinger,
Yes.
Larson,
Yes.
Malumbi.
Yes.
Sunny.
Yes.
Abstain.
Motion carries. We are on to item number 14. William and Chris Duba, DBA as Core Athletics. 1113 East Douglas Avenue. William and Chris Duba, DBA Core Athletics, are requesting the following property legally described as lots 9, 10, and the east half of lots 11 and 12 of Block 12, Van Epps First Edition, City of Mitchell, Davidson County, South Dakota, from R3, Medium Residential District, to HB, Highway Oriented District, and an official zoning map be changed to reflect the same. And they want to expand their facility. That's back on one of the back pages if you want to take a look at what they're looking to do.
Mr. Chairman and members, you probably saw a bunch of background information there. They have the construction or preliminary construction drawings submitted. They're both, the parties are here as well. We do have some area or some photos that are available too to kind of show a little bit of what they do if you're not familiar with this operation. So just some of you may not have been on the board when this was issued way back when. I'll brief it a little bit. Is the building was already there when this party acquired the business, so to speak. The white building that you see on the north side there. What happened about about a year, maybe a year and a half ago, they did receive a conditional use permit to operate an indoor recreational facility for that the white building that's there now. And so hence now the before them is they wish to expand that operation and rezone the properties that they're indicated there in the yellow. They have acquired those properties, and I believe some of the rationale was, if the property would ever be sold, because you've really eliminated the possibility it would remain, if it wasn't rezoned, it would only thing that would be applicable would be perhaps the conditional use permit that you granted it. Only, but actually it's also probably may or may not be only limited to that one particular building or the old building. So hence the reason for the rezoning. Just to give you a little perspective of what's around that property, if you just go to the next block south, or I mean the kitty corner there is a storage facility, a brown facility that was also rezoned to Highway Business District. The next block to the south is the body shop, formerly known as Tilburg GT Body, is to the south of that. That's Highway Business as well. So just so that if you wanted to know where the Highway Business is, how close it is, that's what's there. So with that, I believe the applicants are here to kind of give you a little background on what their proposal is, but this is strictly a rezoning request. So.
Is the map on the website current? The zoning map? The zoning map is current.
Go down the map. There's that, see the brown right there in the corner, that's the kitty corner of where they're at. Yeah. Yeah, here. You see the auto dock up there and then the mobile home park. There's the arch, yeah. The storage building right there on the Creta corner where you see the brown on the corner of Elm.
Yeah.
And then that's the auto shop is right to the
Can't
corner.
Go by color.
Yeah.
Can't see it. That's the closest.
Yep.
There.
Yep.
So that, it'd be an L shape there. It would be disconnected, I don't think it's all the way through. The top 4 lots, right? Yeah, but you got 2 houses in that corner.
The aerial probably shows the houses are probably still there. Maybe you guys want to fill it in which houses are gone maybe when they show the aerial there.
Oh, okay.
Because that's, the aerial's about 2 years old. There you go.
So, yeah.
that house.
That's the empty lot.
Yeah, that house is gone and all those trees are gone now.
You got a big tree there yet.
Well, yes, there's one.
But I'm talking about up in the
No, those two on the corner,
Douglas, you got Douglas, the corner ones are still there yet, so
Correct.
you can't,
the bottom one there, that where it says 6, I think that's 612.
so that's the L shape you're talking about,
Yeah.
direction. Disconnected from 100.
Yeah, you see the shed there, the brown shed is the HB.
So how close to the lot line you're gonna go on the south side there?
Right up,
With that new addition?
right up to it.
Because highway business, you're gonna go right up to the lot line.
Sounds like parking might be an issue for you out there. Are you gonna use some of that lot?
Well, yeah, so the building will stay 60 foot wide and go all the way up to the property line. So then everything on the left side of that picture would be parking lot. So we'd be able to add about 24 parking spots.
Okay. And we're tying it to another,
What?
Say who you
Oh,
are.
I'm Christy Duba. I'm the owner of Core Athletics, and this is my sister Nicole Wittstruck.
So would you do that parking lot right away with this? So you'd be using that parking lot, so you won't have to be using longs across the road?
Correct, yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping that our main entrance then would be off Raleigh Street, right where the parking lot is, instead of off Douglas.
Well, because we got a letter here from Philip here, or whatever, Philip saying something about parking, but that would eliminate more
But yeah,
parking. Then,
because yeah, right now we just have the one spot, so there are cars on the street, but we would do the parking lot right away, and that would eliminate all cars off the road.
are you having any current parking problems with longs or anything?
No.
I guess, where does this, Josh Phillips live? Does he live nearby? Does he live in one of those houses in that corner?
On the
Across
paper, it
street?
says 613 South Raleigh.
Across the street there,
across the street.
613 and 615.
Okay, what's your pleasure, folks? That does tie into an existing highway business, so we're just expanding that area. Is that,
You're
that
saying
not correct?
620 is highway business?
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Not what the map showed, is it?
No, the one, I can't see the number.
Right there, right?
The brown building there on the corner.
Down.
Down.
There, that's the one that's high. So it's not connected
It's not
at all.
connected,
It's disconnected. In a way, it is spot zone, but it isn't really, because it's near. But those are apartments there, correct, up there to the south, I mean, to the east?
Yeah, they're duplexes.
See, so that is more of a, kind of,
I guess the owners, in that one corner up there by Douglas and, is it me? I guess if they have no problem, I guess, and they didn't say anything about it, so.
So 620, the one that would be right under it, we get first chance to buy her house when she moves it or sells it or whatever. She's already told us that. Yeah.
What's your pleasure, guys?
Well, I don't see any problem with it myself. I think it's a good thing. The business that's expanding and the type of business that it is, I think it's great.
Yeah, I don't wanna put a damper on somebody that's thriving.
I'd certainly approve it, or if
Make a
you need a
motion.
motion, I'll make a motion to approve it.
Yep. Do I hear a second to that motion?
I'll second it. Oh, go ahead, Doug.
I got one question. If and when you would get the property from the Mahoney, that would also be included then to go with highway business? Is that what your intent would be?
Yes.
Well, well, basically, it doesn't matter, cause you got already highway business, we approve it now, and then you've got something right on the corner, so basically, and the half of that block there would be 3/4 of it highway business, so. Like I said, I'll second it, Larry.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there discussion on the motion?
So engineering division, we've been in talks with the property owners. We're going to require a civil design with plans stamped by a professional engineer. And we'll check with improvements or upgrades to meet the latest city fire safety code with John Haig as part of the building permit. Any parking and landscaping will be required to brought up to code. That'll include sidewalk construction on Raleigh, basically where the new property is. And we've been in conversations with them. They've been very receptive, and I don't think we'll have any issues getting that information.
Very good.
Well, they gotta fill in a pretty good sized hole.
Yes.
So this is, the civil part would be nice to, as far as for drainage and all that kind of stuff, but I think that parking lot, will take a lot of that and put it out towards.
All right, we have a motion and a second, and we have had discussion on the motion. Is there further discussion?
I'm a little more sympathetic to the guy who wrote the letter. I do think it's a residential neighborhood. That being said, I'll probably vote for it.
Well, we're going to find out, because we're ready to vote, and Neil's going to call a roll.
I'm on the fence about this one.
It's tough.
It is tough, but.
Well, one thing though, and I realize what you're saying, I thought about this in Mr. Phillips' letter too, but he said, there's too much commercialization moving in. Well, the thing is, they're already there. They're not moving in. We're not moving anything new. If it was a new something, I'd probably have a different take on it.
I think if Long's wasn't across the street, that might really change things for me.
Yeah. Ready?
Larson,
Yes.
Malomby.
Yes.
Teresa,
Yes.
Penny. Osterloo,
Yes.
Genzinger,
Yes.
and Sunny.
Abstain.
6-0.
All right. Is there any other business to come before this body at this time? Hearing none, we are ready for public input. If you need to address the City Planning Commission on an item that was not on the agenda, excluding personnel items, please come forward to the podium, state your name and your concern. Presentations are limited to 3 minutes, and items will be considered, but no action will be taken at this time. Seeing no one coming to the podium, we are adjourned. And it wasn't a record short one.